All right, I'm gonna call this August 15th meeting of trustees for business pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, looking for a motion to approve the August 1st meeting minutes.
Make that motion.
Second vote, yes.
Yes.
Public comment period, Brookside,
Nothing new to report.
Worthington Hills.
Next month is the recycle day. You got that information yet? Make sure that Luke gets it to you. On Saturday, I wish I knew the date, I'm sorry. I hope, yeah,
The recycle day?
the pre-recycle day.
They have that twice a year because they had one. They had that.
Recycle.
They had that in the
Recycle.
spring.
What's pre-cycle?
It's, you set
Or you throw it
stuff
out.
out in the curb and people take it for free.
Oh,
Oh, I didn't.
It's a Girl Scout thing.
Scouts usually
Got it.
do.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's-
So,
When is that gonna be?
when is that gonna be? In September sometime, and I can't remember, because we wrote an article for the magazine about it.
Okay.
Should know. I'll get you a date for it though.
thanks.
So, and that was it. There was not much at the meeting. It was the same night that we did the marketing thing. We just had some questions about the storm, the catch basins. And the upcoming road work. That was it. So,
How was the social?
Huh?
How, I'll pick that.
Epcot and develop.
Things are going well, fire's out. I assume it's still under investigation as we know it.
Yes, they'll be wrapping up probably by the end of the week.
So quiet.
Zoning. Anything?
We just got 2 or 3 more FCON permits in. So I think Steve drove through and he said there's maybe 6 or 7 empty lots yet.
Yeah,
That
even though there's several that are on hold, sold, reserved, but I think there's 6 or 7 that are still for sale.
Development director. Joe, you're on mute. Anyway, all right. So one of the things that we had was the Epcon TIF agreement, but based on the letter that we have, there's some missing items. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put that on hold. Just so we have it all, we've crossed our T's, dotted our I's before we go ahead and schedule that meeting. So that's off the list. Joe, you on there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah. So there were some missing items, Joe, on that TIF thing that, so we're just gonna push it. We're gonna push it to make sure that we have those items, and then Beth is going to call,
Chris. Ron.
Rob tomorrow to just get those items.
Do you know what those items are offhand, Beth?
Yeah, it says the proposed TIF resolution is enclosed and that letter that it was returned to me, it wasn't in there. And then, well, Andy explained the other one.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're just gonna make sure our T's are crossed and I's are dotted. So before we go ahead and schedule that.
I know there was a question about people having questions, Beth. This is not changing their tax rate or tax contribution at all. It's diverting taxes to pay the TIF.
Yeah, I explained that to him. That's, yeah. I just didn't, when they first called, I didn't have the letter in front of me, so I didn't have anything to reference, so.
Okay.
That's all.
And feel free to give them my number if you need to. I'm fine with that.
Sounds good.
And then next up is the resolution confirming that the certain real property owned by Perry Township is not a public right of way. So basically, throughout the whole, part of our property, there's that 25-foot easement that McKittrick and the old board of trustees, that was reserved as a right of way. It's not a right of way. It'll be coming back into our property, so it's gonna be officially us and not that. Joe, do I have that right?
That is correct. It was, they took the language from the deed without looking at the rest of the items, et cetera, and the auditor and everyone else involved concurs that that is not right away, but they wanted the official motion taking it back out, that nobody has accessibility rights to it. So that's what you're doing tonight.
Yeah, so I move to confirm that the certain real property owned by Perry Township is not a public right of way. I so move.
Second.
Vote,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
All right. Back to, development, new business, reciprocal agreement with Mount Carmel.
Actually, I'm sorry, it's a settlement agreement.
Oh, the settlement agreement, okay. And then in front of us, we also have a settlement agreement, with, the board of trustees in the city of Dublin.
If I could, Andy, that's the proposed settlement agreement. It's being reviewed Dublin, but as you know, our council finds it in order. I find it in order, as do our attorneys. So I think if we can vote on that, if Dublin has no changes, then that'll be the document.
Okay. I will move that, if Dublin has no, comments on this, we are good with this, so I move to, agree to the settlement agreement in your packet. That's what
Can I amend that?
you
Can we, or can I ask you?
Yeah.
Can we just simply say if there are no additional changes to the
Yeah,
package
Yeah.
in front of us?
Yep.
Okay.
with Chet's comment. Second vote,
Yes.
yes. Anything else, Joe?
No, I'm assuming, Beth, I don't know whether you know or not, but the HPOD drawings were supposed to be dropped off today at the township offices.
Yes, there's a lot of information here for you.
So if you could, those
I'm
were,
sorry, Joe.
I'm sorry, on the HPOD, if they dropped off those drawings, Andy, if you could bring them with you.
Yep.
And that's for an informal review by us prior to submittal.
Okay.
Looks nice.
All right. Road department.
I don't have much this evening. We did receive the report from Sands Decker. I've reached out to Jim Ramsey to try to set up a meeting for him to get on and kind of review it with us. I have not heard back from him yet. That's all I have tonight.
Okay. Fire and EMS.
July fire report, Upper Arlington responded into Perry Township 9 times. 3 of those were EPCON. Worthington responded to Perry Township 18 times a month in July.
Police department.
Their new business, ask the board to accept the resignation of our support services individual, I say officer, but Mr. Reardon has resigned effective the 3rd. To accept his new position in Woodbury.
I'll move to accept the resignation letter of James Reardon.
Second.
Vote,
Yes.
yes.
Next, we received a retention grant. The grant is done by state of Ohio. And there was a violent crime retention and recruiting grant associated. We did not qualify for the violent crime. The violent crime is to hire additional officers. We did not qualify for good reason that we don't have violent crime. So we changed that grant and went for what's called a retention grant, which means all sworn officers full-time will get a 10% bonus of their salary at no cost to the township. And it's just a retention, the whole keep officer.
Do you know when those funds are coming in?
We were notified it should be sometime in the next few weeks. So
Just have to
the
set up a
total,
new
I think the
fund.
total grant came out to $109,000.
Wow, that's awesome.
And then lastly, the townships have gotten together. We have, with the cruisers in issues with supply chain, the townships have gotten together to sign an agreement with board approval that if one of the townships has an issue with cruisers where, I give you an example, Madison Township had, I think it was just a few weeks ago, they had a situation where they had several of their cars go down for various reasons. And they reached out to Clinton Township and Franklin, and Clinton sent 1 or 2 cars, Franklin sent 1 or 2 cars to keep Madison on their feet for a couple of days so their cars came back. Mike Jones, chief at Clinton Township, he reached out to Julie at Riggs's office, and she drew up an agreement with Otarma's help that says if all the townships sign, we can loan cars back and forth to each township should arise, basically what the fire department does. So fire departments use equipment from other agencies all the time. If we're to have that situation occur, they would assume all responsibility. I have a copy of the agreement. Did I send it to you to put Dropbox? I don't remember. I probably did, but like I can have Mary or Miss Beth drop it in Dropbox this
It's
week.
almost like a mutual aid agreement.
It is, but it just covered cars and everything's there. Otarma helped write it. And again, Julie from Griggs's office is the one that actually wrote it. So
And that's, have other, I think I know of other departments that have used others' vehicles.
Yeah.
because of crashes.
yeah, again, Madison just went through it with Clinton and Franklin. So, and again, just because of supply chain issues.
We have to notify our insurer at all of that, I think so.
I reached out to them just to make sure that the agreement was okay with them. And he didn't indicate that was bad.
Yeah.
It's covered underneath.
Everything's covered.
Miscellaneous, I think is what he said, but I can verify.
The township that would borrow the car will assume all responsibility for any damage, repairs, maintenance, that kind of thing while they have it.
And that's what our insurance said.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that that language was in there. anyways.
Yeah.
There's all, it's almost always insurance follows the claim.
Yes.
So our insurance would follow that car if somebody else borrowed it.
Mhm.
And if we borrowed somebody else's car, this is terms of primary and secondary. And if we borrowed somebody's car, their insurance would be primary, ours would be secondary. But we just need to make sure it's okay with our insurer to do that.
It's changed priorities, I mean, as far as.
Well, like I said, the general rule in Ohio is for liability on a vehicle, insurance follows the car. So if I lend my car to the chief,
Yeah.
with permission, he's insured under my insurance policy.
Yeah.
And my insurance policy is primary. If he has insurance above mine, then his would kick in after mine kicks in.
So does the agreement need to be that our insurance is okay with it, or that they assume any costs that we incur?
Well, it's more of just providing notice to your insurance company, because I know what our limits are, I forget what they are, but we have nice
Yeah.
limits.
Who is our church through? Is it through?
It's through.
And so, it doesn't, in some respects, it doesn't matter about primary, secondary, as long as there's ample insurance
Right.
covering a vehicle that we either lend out or that we bought.
I think I can answer that because the only way we can do this agreement, according to Julie, is if everybody's part of it. So all the townships in Franklin County that have police departments are all part of Otarma, so we're all covered the same.
But we still have time, right? We
Oh,
can
yeah,
make
we have
sure
plenty
to
of
get a
time.
copy of it.
Absolutely.
I'll send y'all what our
Yeah, that's what I said.
department came back
It was
with.
probably even
As a
defined in the
recommendation.
policy as like a substitute vehicle,
Oh, yeah.
because normally too, your insurance policy, if your
Yeah.
car breaks down and you rent a car,
Right,
Yeah.
then you're,
then that's the substitute vehicle. Now, you get like a rent a U-Haul truck, that's not a substitute, that's, it says you can probably buy the supplemental insurance, but you just need to make sure Parma is on board with this.
The insurance part of it is on board with this.
Okay.
All right, well,
You
And
want
then,
us
I mean, would we run the risk hypothetically, they crash our car of our premiums, like us taking the hit or impact, or is language in there that they?
They assume all responsibility.
right, and
Whoever's using
that
the
was
car.
what he said first, to make sure that that language was in there.
Okay,
So,
got
but
it.
again,
Okay.
we can double check it, and so y'all have time to
And
read
then
it over and everything.
I'll get this out to you tomorrow. That way
Sure.
it can be put in Dropbox or whatever
Okay.
you use. And that is all I have.
Minister,
Under old business, the pre-stage engineering plans, a gentleman reached out, asking for me and Mary to sign off on the plans, and that's really not our forte, so I sent him to the engineer's office.
Oh.
And Brad Foster is already in the process of reviewing that, so I let the gentleman know that we will defer to the recommendations of Brindle County Engineer's Office.
Good call.
Thank you. Let's see, nothing on facility Civic Plus. We, as a group, just decided we're just gonna pull that for now and look at that maybe later on in the future. Let's see. We will be having more of a meet and greet with our Civilian Advisory Committee this Thursday at 6:30. Elected officials are welcome to attend if you'd like. But this is more just to give them get their personal information for our records and give them the rules and regs and that sort of thing. And then they're gonna need to pick a date and time for a regular meeting, so on and so forth. So all the nitty gritty organizational information will come at their next formal meeting.
are those gonna be streamed, Val? Okay,
Is the idea that it's a monthly meeting or a?
It's more as an as needed meeting. I'm thinking initially we'll probably do them, September or October. I'm guessing with the holidays, probably not so much,
Yeah.
and then get pulled back to in session in January and start kind of getting them set with some kind of agenda, whatever projects the board decides they'd like for them to look at. But we do, based on our resolution, we do need a trustee liaison. So Chet had offered to take that position as long as everyone's okay with that. So I would need a motion to appoint Chet Cheney as a trustee liaison to the Civilian Advisory Committee.
I'll make that motion.
Well, second.
Vote,
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. The second, we need to amend their resolution just to add that one member will be appointed, or one member will be elected to serve as vice president. A secretary shall be appointed to record all meetings. So I would like a motion to make that amendment.
I move to amend resolution number 187-22 to include elect one member to serve as chairperson and one member to serve as vice chair. The secretary shall be appointed to record all meetings.
Second, vote,
Yes.
yes.
Thank you. In your packet is the Citizen Advisory Committee rules and regulations. According to Township Attorney, it's recommended the board approve those. For the trustees.
I move to approve the Perry Township Citizen Advisory Committee rules and regulations as submitted.
Second, vote,
Yes.
yes.
Also in your packet is a request for $2,500 one-time settlement payment to Ida Gomer related to a fall on 6/30/2022. I have the release for Ms. Gomer to sign prior to the payment being issued.
Good.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to approve the $2,500 one-time settlement to Ida Gomer.
Second.
Vote, yes.
Good, thank you. There was a proclamation that Keith O'Donnell at EPCON requested. And this is related to the National Night Out. It's just a proclamation of the trustees of the Board of Township declaring August 2nd as National Night Out 2022.
I so moved.
Second vote,
Yes.
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 The only other things I just wanted to say is that we have. I did this a couple years ago, set our shred it date for October 22. It's the bye week. Unless OSU has changed their schedule again this year.
They absolutely.
I saved it last year because we almost didn't get it. Last year.
I only know that because our second son's getting married on the 15th of October, and that is now the bye week. Because that was the Iowa game, and the Iowa game got moved to the next week, so they're all excited that they're getting married all the time.
Okay, well, I'm going to make a call to All Shred and see if there's any way to switch that
To the 15th.
to the 15th. And then I'll-
Okay, so the schedule that's on here now shows the 3rd, 10th, 17th, 24th
For what?
For what?
as all having games.
Ohio State
That'd
football?
be September, October.
October.
I'm
16th.
sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll do
I
my
was thinking
best.
hog roast day.
It's not, it might be,
The 15th,
Very busy fall.
the 15th is a bye. It used to
I
be
see.
the
Yeah,
Iowa
yeah,
game,
yeah.
and the 22nd, and like 3 or 4 months ago, they swapped those out.
Gotcha.
and here I thought I was.
How did you-
How did you pull that off? Did you call the?
You know,
Gee,
people.
we really need to move.
They really.
Oh, well, I will do my best, and last year they ended up having to go on a football and I couldn't even help, so I may end up doing it by myself this year.
No, I think you've had enough, like,
In any case, well, I'll see how it is. Thank you.
Let me
Sorry,
know if
I'm
there's
telling you
anything.
that. I just got one. Okay. And that's all I had, thank you.
Fiscal officer,
just a heads up that we did finalize the movement of the funds from Park Bank to Huntington. Other than that, request a motion for approval of the land disbursement.
I will make that motion.
Second,
Vote,
yeah.
yes.
We're gonna postpone the executive session.
Okay, moving down to adjournment, anything else for the good of the cause? Hearing none, I move to adjourn.
Second,
Vote,
yes.
yes.
Thank you.